Good afternoon, everybody. This is John Scarborough. I wanted to show y'all this fly trap that I have here. This is not the first one I've built. This is the latest one I've built. This is the same principle, same model, and this has worked out really well for us. This is a really good fly trap. It really helps fly control in our part of the world. I'll kind of go over a little bit what we do. This fly trap is better if it's solid black. That's going to be your best fly trap. Partially because black soaks up the most heat, so you're going to get a hot, nice hot object. If you notice your cattle out in the field, and incidentally this will work for horn flies as well, for cattle flies. So this is going to be great for anybody having problems this year, because this year is actually worse for flies than a lot of years. If you're noticing more flies, that's why. It's worse for everybody for flies for some reason. So this trap is going to be really good for a lot of people. And there's other traps and other good ideas to have, but this is something good to have. This one I've made for our pigs. You look over here, we just moved them, and if you notice, I did not move my trap up. Now that's by design. Your pigs have been over here for a while, so the majority of the flies are going to be over there where the poop is. So you keep your trap kind of close to where the stinkiest spot is, and it doesn't stink that bad. In fact, to be honest, I don't smell any stink at all, because we move them frequently enough. We move our pigs often enough that we don't have to worry about the stink at all. We just don't have that problem. But the flies are still a problem. Now I will say this much: I've noticed that flies are not as much of a problem as far as they don't seem to bother the pigs as much as they do cattle. These flies, they'll kind of land on them here and there, but they really don't get down on them and biting them real bad or anything like that. The pigs seem to be just fine. But it's a cleanliness thing. You know, you just start to build up too many flies for one area, and that's what a trap like this is really good for. So back to the black thing, if you ever notice your cattle in your field, your cattle, if you have more than one color cow, the black cow will always have more flies, or at least in my experience, and I've heard this said by other farmers as well, your black cows will always have more flies than your white or your red cows. And the hypothesis is the heat of the cow is attracting the fly. They're more likely to go to the hotter skin of that other cow. Now that's what I've heard. I don't know the science behind it. I don't understand it, but I do know that is the case, because we have red cows, white cows, and black cows right now, and our black cows have way more flies than any other color, like probably 3 times more flies. So by painting your barrel black and you leave it, you can put this with your cattle, that's fine. It seems to work better a paddock or 2 behind the cattle, and that's actually working out pretty good right here, because the cattle are going to be a couple paddocks ahead. I don't know how well you can see that. The cattle are in the brush right now because it's hot, but we're a couple paddocks behind, so this distance, about 2 to 3 days behind, would be about perfect for your fly trap. But it's best to have more than one fly trap. One fly trap to stay with your pigs, one to stay with your cattle, and then you could even have one at like every frequent water station, things like that. Now what's nice about this design as well is that you can do this with a 5-gallon bucket. You can do it. Tractor Supply is selling some really good small traps. They're very effective, and they've already got the attractant inside of it. They're a little small bag, about the size of my hand. They are probably, I don't know, I think they're $4 or $5. They're very reasonable for the amount of flies that they catch and how fast they catch. But this is the same principle, and this ends up being a lot cheaper, especially, you know, if you're a farmer and you have more flies that you're going to attract to your place. I did a YouTube short where you could see this, but I'll show you again for anyone who hasn't seen that video. I don't know how well you can see that. I don't want to open this because there are tons of flies still alive. And if I'm looking down in there with it, and then I look through the camera, there's actually more flies on the wall than what I can see. But I'm gonna be quiet and let you listen. You hear how many flies are down in there? You can get a scoop and go to scooping out and you'll have 2 to 3 inches of dead flies down in that bottom. And you see the way I've got the elbows bent down. So I've got a 90 degree, it's a 2-inch 90 degree. Actually, I'm sorry, it's a 1.5 inch. You could do something similar to that. 90 degree, and then I've got about an 8-inch piece of pipe sticking out of that. What that does is the fly can smell it from right here. So this is their way in. So they go inside and then they go straight down where they smell it. Okay, there's water down there. Then they're looking for a way out. The only way out is they look for light. They have to go up to this window. That's why this window is the key, is this light right here. Okay, so by having your 90 degree bend in there, you bring all of your flies want to come up. Another thing, if you'll notice, I'm gonna go back down in here and let you look again. It's kind of hard to see it, but there's a little bag in there hanging from a piece of wire. I've got the wire hanging on the 90 degree on the piece of PVC there, and the bag is filled with chicken liver. Okay, you can buy chicken liver for about I think it's under $2. It's like $1.50 for a big can of chicken liver, and you don't even need the whole thing. So I just got a couple of chicken livers, stuffed it into some cheesecloth, and then hung it up inside there. You only need to do that at the beginning of your fly season. You hang that up one time right at the beginning of your fly season. That gets your bucket started. Now I also put some pig manure inside there as well, and that gets your bucket started. Your flies start coming in, but then the flies themselves create enough stench that they'll just keep on coming in for the rest of the fly season. So you just get it started once in the beginning of summer, maybe once in the spring, right when you first start to see your flies, whether you're talking about horn flies or flies around your pigs or whatever. When you first start to see them, go ahead and get your fly traps started. That way they'll be attracted to them, and the flies will keep the process going for you. You got a little bit of water in the bottom of here. You only need probably about this much water. The more water you put, the more, I'm sorry guys, my video is about to cut off. The more water you put, the easier it is to drag this around without it falling over. But anyway, I just wanted to show you all this video. I am about to run out of time here before my phone quits recording. But I just wanted to show you all this video, guys. This is a great trap. You can make several of these out of 5-gallon buckets. You can use smaller 90s. That all works. That works pretty good for these. You've got to have a lid, a removable lid that doesn't let your flies back out. That was one problem I had. That was the first mistake I ever made. So anyway, guys, put it on a pullable platform so it's easy to move around. Make sure it's not going to topple over. Simple stuff like that. I got 3 90s in here because this one right here has a bend in it, but the more 90s is the more entrance points, so that's not going to hurt one way or the other. This probably only cost me max $15, but I got the barrel for cheap, so I mean, you may spend more than that, you know. So experiment with it. Get you some 5-gallon buckets, get you some different stuff. Put the pictures in the comments. I would love to see it. And guys, please share this information. Share my videos. I'm trying to get my videos out there. I feel like I got good information. I'm just not as popular on YouTube as I'd like to be. So please help me out. If this stuff helps you, I feel like I've got good information. Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, share it on TikTok. Put the videos out there, please, guys. Thank y'all very much.